Hello guys, welcome back to John HD Gaming, and in this episode I'm going to showcase my Soviet deck. This is a pure Soviet deck, and I think the Soviet decks are pretty powerful in terms of the tanks. Their tanks are pretty awesome. They have some really incredible helicopters, and their planes I believe can match those of the US, and I really like their infantry as well. I think the Soviet deck is pretty awesome. If you are a new player, I would suggest that you give this a try and you might like it very much. Alright, so for the logistics, I'm going to take an FOB, take the Euro trucks. I've chosen the more expensive Euro trucks because in my playstyle I tend to favor the ground kind of supply vehicles a lot more as compared to the air supply. And as I've mentioned in the other episodes, I find that nowadays the players tend to bring in a lot of AA, and as a result, air supply vehicles tend to get shot down rather easily. Alright, now for the CV, I've brought in this BMP 1K because this offers me some sort of armor, and I think that's pretty good. I don't think I would need to go for more expensive variants as long as the cheapest one offers me decent armor. Now for the infantry, I brought in my usual ADGM kind of squads and my AA squads. I can call in 12 of them, so that should be pretty good. I brought in some special forces and Recon, kind of Spetsnaz, just to clear out any areas that has been infested, sort of messed up and clumped up with enemy troops. I chose to bring in the VDVs over these guys. I'm not sure to pronounce their names, but I guess yep. The difference between the VDVs and these guys are the RPGs, and for the VDV variants, I can see that they have an AP power 15, accuracy of 12, and these variants over here have a slightly higher AP power but low accuracy. I tend to favor accuracy a little more. Over here, and since each of my VDV squads are only 20 points, and these guys are 30 points, I'll take the 20 points with slightly more accuracy. Alright, and these APCs that I've chosen have a AT kind of missile. They are the Selco's missile, so these guys should be able to provide a decent punch when I'm pushing through. These ones over here do not have much kind of weaponry, but I just use them as very simple kind of carriers with some very light sort of weaponry. Alright, as for the support, I brought in some motor squads. I brought in some AA over here, and I brought in the book. The reason for bringing the book is it has a range against airplanes of 4550 meters, and this is very important because as you will notice, most of the planes have a range, sort of a ground attack range of about 3,200 to 3,500 meters in general, except for the seed aircraft, the sort of anti-radar kind of aircraft. They have a typical range about 4,200 to 4,900. So as long as we can keep our books far behind and keep them safe, they should be able to take out most of the ground-based bomber aircraft. And I brought in these guys because these trailers are using infrared missiles, so they will not be destroyed completely by the seed variant aircraft. As you can tell, I cannot bring in too much AA over here, so I will be highly dependent on my AA infantry as well as my teammates for their AA. Right. So the other thing I guess you guys can consider is the Tunguskas. These Tunguskas have pretty awesome range against helicopters. Most of the helicopters have range, ADGM range of about say 2,600 meters, and if you can bring in some Tunguskas, I guess the helicopters will have very little chance of hitting your vehicles. However, the downside, the Tunguskas are more expensive than these trailers, so I have this tendency to pick the cheaper variants because I do not want to give my opponents 20 points. Alright, now to these tanks. I think these Soviet tanks are pretty amazing. What I recommend is the T-64 series. The T-64 series is much better than the number suggests. These T-64s have excellent range of 2,625 meters. Their circle missiles are pretty good. They have a front armor of 16, which is amazing. Yeah, so and for the cheap price of 95, I think it's a must pick up. I guess they can only be rivaled by the M1 Abrams from the US kind of side. The other one that I'll recommend is to bring in the T80 series, especially the T80 BVs. In my earlier deck, I brought in some T64 BVs, but these guys have been increased in price by the recent patch to 135, and this makes them a bit more expensive than the T80 BV series. So I'm going to take the 130 point T80 BVs over the T64 BVs. And I'm going to bring in some cheaper T72s. These guys have pretty good front armor, so they should be able to hold the line decently well. I'm not relying on them to do much damage. I'm just relying on them to hold the line. And for 40 points a piece, I think these guys are a must buy. I think should bring them in. I tend to favor these T72s over the rest. The T62s, sorry, have only a front armor of 8. So the T72s I find are a much better choice, I think. The T55 series have been my bread and butter. However, in the recent patch, their prices have been increased. So I do not want to bring too much of them. I guess the prices have been increased because people have been spamming T55s straight down by moving fast and straight into the opponent's bases. Right, so I'm going to bring in some T55s anyway. For the price of 55 deployment points, I think it's definitely worth getting. These guys have circle missiles, 2,625 meters, AP power of 16. These guys are definitely worth getting, or worth giving a consideration, I would say. Now I'm going to bring in some Recon. As usual, I'll try and bring in a ground-based vehicle Recon and an infantry kind of Recon. These pet snares are special forces. They are very good. I've used them in action plenty of times and they are very good. I brought in them using some very light kind of APCs. So basically my APCs are throwaway as long as my pet snares can survive. These BRDM2s are pretty good. They have very good optics. So I favor them because of the optics. Right, I'm going to talk about my vehicles right now. I'm bringing Conquer squads mostly. Here you can see I bring in two types of Conquer squads. One is the UAZ Conquers and one is the BRDM2 Conquers. The BRDM2 Conquers have some armor, one armor all around, whereas the UAZ Conquers have no armor. Although the UAZ Conquers have a higher rate of fire, but their lack of armor makes me a little nervous somewhat, so I'm going to bring in one of each and use them situationally. What I brought in is the Sturm. These Sturms are expensive, a bit more expensive, I'll say 55 points, but they can carry 12 Selco missiles. But the most important key point is they have an AP power of 20 and they have a range of 2,800 meters. This means to say that they should be able to destroy most or almost all of the NATO kind of tanks before they can even reach your front line. So these guys are very good if they are used carefully, but they are very weak. As a result, they can be taken out very easily by aircraft and helicopters that's called in by your opponent. So do use them wisely and take some precautions. Right, the helicopters of the Soviets are pretty amazing. These guys over here, look at their missiles. Their ground-based missiles over here have a range of 3,325. This is pretty insane. AP power of 28, which means to say that if these missiles hit, your vehicles will most likely be destroyed. But I'm not going to bring them in because they cost 130 deployment points a piece, and yeah, they are pretty much sort of a hassle to bring around because you got to micro them very well. I'm not a very good micro person, so I tend to not bring these guys in. I brought in some Mi-24Vs, the cheaper variants, because I tend to find that multi-purpose kind of helicopters works very well, because I think helicopters are situational. If your opponent do not have AA, or sufficient AA, then I will bring these helicopters in. Otherwise, in most cases, I'll try and refrain from doing so. Now, talking about the planes, Soviets have pretty decent planes. What I like most is the MiG-31Ms. These guys have an awesome range of 11,900 meters, and is only matched by the Tomcat from the US, I believe. So these guys should have very high survivability. The fast speed of this aircraft, coupled with the very good ECM, these countermeasures will save your MiG-31Ms, and they should be able to survive till the end of the game as long as you do not move these guys straight into the front line. Keep these guys back, utilize their range well, and they should be able to survive all the way. I tend to throw in my Yaks, but these Yaks are very good. They have 500 kg rounds, 4 of them, and a ground range of 3,500 meters. They should be pretty effective. However, I tend to get them destroyed, but I guess it's fine for 70 deployment points apiece. I brought in some MiG-25BMs because they have pretty good anti-radar missiles. This is a seed aircraft, so that these guys can take away the radar kind of AA. The other one I brought in is the MiG-25PDs. The reason I brought in this is to provide a bit more support just in case I get my MiG-31M destroyed. These guys have a range of 5,600 meters, which is, I believe, one of the better ones. So just in case my MiG-31M gets shot down, I'm going to use these guys as backup. So I guess this is a pretty good range, a pretty good complement. And I've used up all my activation points, and this is my deck. This is my Soviet deck. I'm pretty happy with this deck, and I feel pretty confident as well. The only downside I would say is I gotta use my points carefully, because a lot of the vehicles that I've chosen are very good, they're very elite, but they're expensive as well. So what I'm gonna do when I play is I'm gonna try and utilize the infantry a little more right at the beginning, and once my team has accumulated a fair bit of points, I'm gonna rush in with my tanks and try and take over areas and regions that are vital and can provide me with a lot of points. Yeah, so this is my deck, and I hope this provides you some information and gives you some idea on what you should choose for your deck. And yeah, I'm gonna try this out and show you guys in the next video. Alright, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys. Signing off.